During a heated argument with my wife, Rebecca, she blurted out something that broke me inside. I only married you 'cause I believed the baby was yours. He should know his real father. Instead of reacting right then, I quietly ordered a DNA test for our 5-year-old son. When the results arrived, confirming her confession, I filed for divorce and took everything to court, showing evidence of her intentional paternity fraud. 5 years of believing I was a father collapsed within 6 weeks. Now I sit in my new apartment staring at a phone that won't stop buzzing with her name, wondering how life unraveled so fast. Rebecca and I met in law school, and after graduating we landed good jobs at rival firms. I handled corporate litigation, while she chose family law. After 3 years of dating, she became pregnant. Was unexpected, but we felt happy and I proposed. We had a small ceremony before she started showing, and 7 months later our son Ethan arrived a little early. The doctor reassured me it was fine, and I never questioned it. For 5 years I was the dad who coached T-ball, built a treehouse, and checked under the bed for monsters. I woke at 5 a.m. for hockey practice and had been saving for college since the day he was born. Ethan had my curly hair, or so thought. But during one of our usual arguments about my late hours and her feeling neglected, Rebecca snapped. She'd been drinking more often, wine in her hand that night. When I suggested testing for dyslexia after seeing Ethan's report card, she lost her temper. Forget it, Nathan. Stop pushing your problems on him. He's nothing like he never was. Then she swirled her glass and said, I only married you 'cause I thought the baby was yours. He deserves to know his real father. The room went cold. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. Even when she backpedaled, blaming the alcohol, I saw the truth in her eyes. I spent the night turning over the past 5 years in my head, searching for signs I had missed. The next morning, we acted as if nothing had happened. Made pancakes for Ethan, I kissed him goodbye and left for work. But my mind was already set. I ordered a DNA kit, swabbed Ethan's cheek during bath time, and mailed it with my own sample. Also, began gathering proof. Checking phone records from the time of conception, I found a strange number in her email. Using the shared password she had, I discovered messages with someone named Alex. The timing matched perfectly. Called Martin Walsh, a ruthless divorce lawyer, an old friend who owed me a favor. I handed him a complete file. Within a week, the DNA results came back. No match, 0% probability of paternity. Felt nothing, only a cold certainty about what needed to come next. That evening I did normal. I helped Ethan with his puzzle, read his bedtime story, kissed Rebecca goodnight, and retreated to the guest room claiming an early meeting. Finalized my plan overnight. The next day I transferred half our savings into a separate account and searched for housing. I packed essentials, family photos, and left Rebecca's rings on the counter with a note. The DNA test proved what you said. My lawyer will contact yours. The calls started right away, but I ignored them. Texts filled with panic, anger, and threats came in, all forwarded to Martin. That night was the hardest. I couldn't sleep knowing Ethan would be confused, but I couldn't keep living under her roof. The next day, Rebecca filed an emergency motion, claiming I abandoned the family and took the money. But the judge wasn't swayed. Martin presented proof of paternity, fraud, and records showing I withdrew only my legal half. The judge ordered a court-supervised DNA test which matched My results. Ethan was not my son. As the case unfolded, more of Rebecca's lies. Surfaced. Alex Thornton, a senior partner at her firm, had been her affair partner. Their relationship started before our engagement and continued on off after. When she discovered she was pregnant, she chose me, thinking I was safer and more stable. She never told Alex he had a child. In a private journal, subpoenaed by Martin, her own words exposed everything, detailed entries on timing, intimacy to make me appear the father. She had calculated it all. On top of that, Rebecca had siphoned nearly $200,000 into a secret investment account over the years. Another layer of betrayal. The divorce moved quickly. The judge showed little sympathy for her tears, especially since she was a family law attorney herself. The paternity fraud sealed it. I was awarded 75% of marital assets, an unusually high share due to the financial misconduct, and she was ordered to repay my legal costs. She was also required to arrange contact between Ethan and his biological father, who had never even known he had a son. The most difficult part of all this has been Ethan. I requested transitional visitation not because I had any legal right to it, but because the judge recognized the emotional impact on a 5-year-old who suddenly lost the only father he had ever known. The first supervised meeting after the DNA results was heartbreaking. Ethan ran into my arms asking why I moved out and if he had done something wrong. Held him tight and told him I could never be angry with him. Adult problems were complicated, but he would always matter me. I've continued those visits even though I'm not required to. Each one feels like reopening a wound. I was innocent in this mess. The bond we built for 5 years is real, even if the biology isn't. Rebecca calls daily, using different numbers and tricks. Last week she showed up at my office and had to be escorted out by security. Yesterday I received a letter from Alex Thornton. Rebecca never told him about the pregnancy. He requested his own DNA test, which confirmed he is Ethan's biological father. He has now filed for partial custody. Rebecca's carefully built house of lies is crumbling. I'm still trying to process everything. Some days I feel anger, others only numbness. Therapy has helped, but work has been my main refuge. I've thrown myself into my cases, rebuilding focus and stability. I also returned to boxing, a hobby I gave up when Ethan was born. The future with Ethan is uncertain. I may not be his biological father, but I was his dad for 5 years, and that means something. For now, we take it one day at a time with supervised visits as I try to navigate this new role. As for Rebecca, the woman I thought I knew doesn't exist. I never imagined she was capable of orchestrating such a deliberate, years-long deception. Is a stranger now, and I no longer seek to understand her motives. When my phone rings with an unknown caller, I know it's her or someone close to her. I ignore it and continue packing for a solo hiking trip, my first vacation alone in 6 years. It's my first step toward reclaiming my life. 3 weeks later, I didn't expect my post to gain so much attention. I'm grateful for the advice and encouragement. Many asked for an date, so here it is. The divorce is finalized with no changes to the terms. Interestingly, Rebecca's firm reported her to the ethics committee after the details became public. She's now facing disciplinary review. Her affair with a senior partner while still a junior associate has also damaged her reputation. Meanwhile, Alex Thornton is pursuing his parental rights. We met for coffee last week and it was extremely awkward. He insists he had no idea about Ethan, claiming he was blindsided by Rebecca. Whether true or not, it's no longer my concern. He did thank me for being a good father to Ethan, which was both painful and meaningful. The most important development has been with Ethan. After speaking with child psychologists, I decided to stay in his life, but not as his father. Alex is taking on that role. While confusing for Ethan, professionals believe it's less traumatic than cutting me out entirely. It's been a difficult transition, but we're adjusting. Rebecca still tries to reach me, often through her parents. They've asked for forgiveness, but I've made it clear this wasn't a mistake, it was a calculated act of deceit. One even suggested I was vindictive for enforcing the court's ruling. The denial in that family is staggering. For those who told me to fight for custody despite the DNA results, I appreciate the thought, but legally and emotionally it would only make things worse. Ethan deserves to know his true father, and Alex is committed to stepping up. People have asked about my mental state. Truthfully, I'm doing better than I expected. That hiking trip cleared my head. I've also started dating casually. Nothing serious yet, just meeting people who know nothing about my past. It's refreshing. 3 former clients even hired me after hearing what happened, saying my attention to detail stood out. Ironically, my personal loss has become a professional strength. Life is strange like that. 6 months later, life has found a new rhythm. It's not the future I once envisioned, but I'm adjusting. Biggest news is that I accepted a partnership at a rival firm in a nearby city. The commute is longer, but the opportunity was too good to refuse. Move created the distance I needed from my old life. Rebecca has stopped contacting me. She sold our house and moved across the country. From what I've heard, she took a lower-paying job at a small firm. Her relationship with Alex ended soon after he gained partial custody of Ethan. Apparently, Alex had been engaged to someone else during their affair. My connection with Ethan has evolved in a way I didn't expect. We now meet once a month for outings, baseball games, science museums, hikes. He calls me Uncle Nathan now, which took some adjusting but feels right for us both. He's still working through the changes with Alex, but he's resilient. After 6 months of therapy, I've reached acceptance. The anger surfaces at times, but it no longer controls me. I've even found moments of gratitude. Painful as it was, living in a lie would have been worse. I've started a serious relationship with a corporate tax attorney I met at a conference. He knows the full story and has met Ethan briefly in the right context. We're taking it slowly, but it feels like the beginning of something real. But it's the first relationship since Rebecca that feels truly hopeful. Looking back at my original post, I barely recognize the person who wrote. Shocked, mechanical in my pain, focused only on carrying out a plan, while shutting down emotionally. That mindset kept me afloat during the worst. But rebuilding requires allowing back the emotions I had locked away. For anyone facing a similar betrayal, I can't give a universal roadmap. Every situation is different, but I can share this. Document everything. Professional help, both legal and emotional, and understand that surviving is not the same as healing. Survival requires strategy. Healing requires. As for forgiveness, many have asked if I'll ever forgive Rebecca. My answer is that forgiveness isn't necessary. What happened wasn't a lapse in judgment or a single bad decision. It was a chain of calculated choices stretched over years. I don't carry hatred, but I also feel no obligation to release her from the consequences of what she did. What I do feel is gratitude for this community and the encouragement it gave me during the darkest stretch of my life. Life looks different now, but it remains intact. And right now that's enough. To clarify one common question, the journal that was subpoenaed, no, I don't possess copies of it. Those records are sealed. Even if I had them, I wouldn't share them. Some matters are better left private. Also, the 75% division of assets wasn't solely due to the paternity fraud, though courts often handle that inconsistently. The larger factor was Rebecca's proven financial misconduct. She had been diverting our shared funds for years, which the judge ruled as a serious breach of fiduciary duty.